Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our next episode. We're currently here at our completed build, our main build that we finished last time. And today I thought we'd do a little bit more of a decor type style of build. In terms of decor style, I thought we could go downstairs. Ouch. And in the back. Please move. Thank you. So when I think about decor, and also when I think about like landscaping and whatnot, I think of trees and flowers and more water. And then I think we have our main base built. How about we make the garden in the back be more extravagant? Now, one of the things I do want to add is like a little gazebo, and we might have to finish up some of the walls here and there. But primarily we want to make the space behind me, directly behind me, green, because this is going to be our main base garden. I do want to keep the nether portal there, but we might have to stylize it a little bit more, make it maybe a little bit more bigger or something that fits the area a little bit more. I do like the purple, so I kind of want to keep it around, but I think we're going to have to do something with that portal area. But primarily this whole area right here has to be green. And we're going to work between normal grass blocks, which are this weird yellow color, yellowy greeny color, and then the other color, which is going to be the moss and the azalea trees and the bushes and such. So the first job is making everything green. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll come back when that's done. All right, let's do that now. One of the things about working in the desert is that, like I said, there's not a lot of green, and having to place down green everywhere is not like the hardest form of terraforming, but like it's definitely very time consuming, but the end result is really cool. You have so much desert surrounding you that when you update your map, it actually looks pretty cool. Actually, now that I think about it, we haven't updated our map since we upgraded our house, I believe. Let's quickly go do that. Use our main map right here, and let's update this now. And here we go. See, already in the map, we can see that there's a big spotch of green. Apart from our town here with the little patches of greens that we know are trees, we now have our cool little bits of green here. So what we're looking for is that here's our main base here. And then we're going to make about this part up into this corner all completely green. This part here is going to be more of our noble district because we have the library in this location here and the cartographer here. This is our main town area, so not quite sure exactly what we're going to have in this area. Probably going to expand the homes more down here. We're going to have an exit on this way. We're going to have an exit down here as well. And eventually we're going to have an exit that's leading out this way over here. So far, I'm really liking how everything's going. Eventually, we're going to want to start farmlands. I'm not 100% sure if I want to start farmlands here or if I want to branch out and start making this whole area down here into farmlands and different fields and stuff. But that's something we can definitely figure out later on. One of the things I also want to consider is where I want there to possibly be a dividing wall. So I'm not talking about the wall behind us, but I'm more talking about where we want the green to stop. This is the side exit to the main build, and then we have the town behind us. So if we have a wall structure that is directly behind me and attaching to that far back wall, we can have the green on the right side of me and then have the rest of the town on the left. That way we can have this part look a lot more like, I don't know, rich, because I mean, that's kind of what we're going for a little bit. I'm not going to be like a king or a sultan or something like that. We're looking into something that's a little bit more dynamic, where the more village base is a lot close together. The more rural area is more spaced out, but more rich and grand looking, maybe a little bit more taller than just 1 or 2 stories, and maybe just a little bit more well built and more thought out, because a lot of our librarians are going to be living in the more richy part, and I'm going to try to find a way to section them off so they can't just go wandering wherever they want. Well, I guess we need to turn this place green. Here we go. Okay, so I've got a lot done so far, and I want to show you the progress that I've made. And it's a big change. Just wait for it. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Look at that. So as you can see behind me, I've not only made the entire area grass, but I've also raised the water level. There's a couple of reasons why I did this. One, because I thought that it would be cool to have a water feature that was actually quite deep, because the desert doesn't have a lot of those. Most of the water is very, very shallow. And I've also textured the ground with the grass and the kelp, and naturally a lot of salmon have been spawning. Hello, villager. Now I do want to do a portal feature on the other side. One of the big reasons why I raised the water the way that I did is because I don't really want villagers walking into the portal. I know that if I build a bridge, that might happen, so I didn't want to build a bridge. I wanted to have like a boat that I could like go across the water. And I also have those guys. Another feature that I built is this wall. I wanted a dividing wall. I needed it for two reasons. One, because I wanted there to actually be a divide between my garden and the rest of the town. And two, because I wanted the water to look a lot higher. And it actually is a lot higher. It's right here, and then we have a long drop down here. We have a way up here. And a way in here, but I haven't really done anything with this inside here. The other thing I worked on was once we jump in the water, apart from the nice salmon and the cool scenery here and there, and hopefully no zombies or anything, is, and not just the portal, is this part over here. I decided it would be cool to have a tiny little water tunnel going under, and then we can exit out this way. Like so. I thought that was actually a cool little feature where the water just keep running in. So now that we have a water feature in place, and we have the grass, the next thing we have to do is we need to beautify the area. So we need to think about adding some more azalea trees. I really like them, so I'm going to add them. And then decorating up the place with some moss, maybe some hedges, and little textures here and there. I do kind of want a path leading from the door all the way down. I don't know, maybe winding in this area here and then stopping maybe down there so that I could take a boat across and make a feature like that. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do with the portal. Of course, I can't make the portal round or anything like that per se, but we'll come up with something. So the first thing we got to do is make the path. So we're going to quickly make the path to the far end to link up to the island. We just kind of want to make a path to our destination to figure out exactly where we want to go. Maybe we'll loop a little bit over here, do a far loop, like so. So now we know we want to do a big loop here. We don't have to fill up this entire thing here. And then we want to come up here, come around here, and end up back at our entrance. Now we want to carve out the space, and then we'll fill it in. What we're going to use to fill it in is coarse dirt, some cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, and then we'll figure out maybe some moss blocks and whatnot. And there you have it, a very basic, simple path that's going to lead all the way down to that area. Now that we have a foundation, what we need to do now is find out where we want to put our trees. We don't want to clutter the area too much, but we do want to add some kind of feeling to it. One of the things that I was thinking about is kind of mimicking what I did with the other azalea trees, but in this area, I want to have it be a little bit more willowy, but only on the water side. So when I do add trees that are close to the water, I want them to drape down and almost touch the water. So we're going to add a variations of azalea bushes that are going to come down. We'll add a little bit of glow vines to add a little bit more feeling to the overall area. When we come to trees on this side, We want them to be a little bit taller, a little bit fuller at the top, but we don't want them to hang down as much. So let's figure out where we want our trees and then we'll build them. So thankfully we have flowering azalea. So all we have to do at the moment is just figure out where we want to place them. And the first ones we want to work on are the ones that are going to be going up and leaning down into the water. So let's choose some spaces now. Now that we have a foundation of our surrounding trees, not all of them grew out towards the water, and that's the feeling we want. We can kind of keep the general foundation of some of it, but most of the feeling we want is to be reaching towards the water and then falling down. So with our azalea leaves and stuff, that's what we're going to do first. Now that we have a bunch of willow trees that are now falling down into the water, the other thing that we can do is we can use sea pickles to kind of make a tiny little path that leads to the other side. I don't have that many, but we'll just make a little kind of scattering. I only have 12, so we'll try our best. Like so. Little tiny things. At nighttime, it will show a tiny little path. The next thing we want to do is we kind of want to bone meal the area, kind of figure out where we want all the flowers to be. We're going to take a bone meal and we're just going to bone meal the area. Get rid of the super tall grass because it's not a super overgrown area. We just want it to look nice. So not allowing there to be tall grass, it looks a lot more manicured. We also have the poppies and the dandelions, which add a lot to it. The next thing we need to do is add the flowers. And so we have a big variation of different flowers and we're going to litter the trail with them. Now we're going to add a mixture of sweet berries, crimson roots, and warped roots. I think warped roots add a cool pop of color. They're a little bit alien, but that's kind of cool. We're primarily going to add a lot of the warped roots by the water because that would make a lot more sense. Kind of like a little bit of stuff coming out of the water. And the crimson roots and the sweet berries will be kind of littered around. There's not a lot of villagers in this area, so I think we'll be pretty safe to be able to decorate it. Now that we have a little pop of color, it looks pretty cool. With the river flowers below and the tall flowers above, we have a pretty cool looking garden, but we have a little bit more to do. We need to add some buttons on the ground for rocks and little details here and there. So let's do that now. So we want to take these stones and we want to kind of scatter them. Sometimes we want them to be here. Sometimes we'll add them like right here. And then we'll kind of just scatter them around. Some on the path, some just sitting about. Having buttons here and there really does give a little bit more of an atmospheric look. It's a tiny little touch, but I think it adds a lot. We want to make sure that we can get rid of the torches. So anywhere that I have a torch, I want to add a moss layer on top. We also want to make sure that we can light up the general area, so we'll do that as well. Adding torches around not only adds to the texture that is surrounding the area, but it also lights up the area, so you don't have to worry so much about creepers and other things spawning. And lastly, we're going to add some more azalea bushes, but we're going to add them as little patches rather than trees. And to top everything off, we're going to add moss to add variations of green. We're going to add azalea bushes, but as actual bushes rather than trees. And then the area should be done. Hopefully this doesn't explode the area too much. That's not too bad. And there we have it, our garden area. It's looking pretty awesome. let's do a quick little tour. So we have our portal area, this area right here. This plant might kill me. Here's our boat. We just get inside and go this way. Come across here, get off. That was a nice little trip. Up here we'll eventually have a build, not just yet. And then here's our path to our main building. I don't think we added too much, but we added just enough for it to look pretty awesome. Hello, villager. And then we're back home. I like how it turned out. What do you think? If you like our new garden area, let me know in the comments below. If you think I should have added something, also let me know. So my friends, this concludes our episode. I know it was a little short that time, but you know what? Short episodes aren't that bad. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.